The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products. Now let's see what's going on with The Great Gildersleeve.
Hello? Miss Fenwick? Guess who this is? Nope. Guess again. You're cold. Guess again. How'd you guess? Did you have a good time last night? Yeah, me too.
Nothing going on there. Well, let's see what's going on with his nephew, Leroy. There must be something going on because at this very moment, Leroy is tearing down State Street as if the devil were after him. Looking for sanctuary, he plunges into Peavy's pharmacy, stumbles, and falls flat on his face.
Well, careful there. You hurt yourself, Leroy?
Don't let him get me. Where can I hide?
Hide from what?
In the phone booth. Don't let him in, Mr. Peavy. Don't let him come in.
Who?
Snyder. Don't tell him I'm here.
Well, who's not? Well, what's he shut himself in there for? Leroy? Open up.
Yeah?
What's all the excitement? What are you running away from?
Snyder. He's chasing me.
Who's Snyder?
One of the big kids. Every day he chases me home from school.
Oh, a bully, huh?
Yeah, that's just what he is, a big bully. All he does is pick on little kids. He's scared to fight anybody his own size. All he does is twist kids' arms and make them drop their books. You know what he does? He sticks a pin in his shoe and kicks them with it when the teacher isn't looking so they'll holler. He said if he ever caught me, he'd... Look out!
Oh, what's the matter? That's just a lady going by.
I thought it was him.
I think you're being a little nervous, Leroy. You can safely come out. Nobody's going to...
You better close your front door first.
No, Leroy, nobody's going to come in here.
Snyder would. He'd do anything. He told me if he ever caught me, he was going to give me the Chinese water torture.
Well, I wouldn't take that too seriously.
You don't know Snyder. He steals things. I saw him steal a whole handful of nuts out of a sack at the A&P. And he's been bothering us kids down at the playground all afternoon. No kidding. You better shut your door, Mr. Peavy. He's probably outside laying for me right now.
Well, you stay here. I'll go see. I'll fix Mr. Snyder. If I catch him hanging around here, I'll send him away.
Yeah, send him away.
Yeah, it's getting a little dark. I don't see anybody, though.
He's probably hiding.
Don't see him. Come out of there, you. I see you. No, don't see a soul.
He hides behind ash cans and things.
You listen to me, boy. Go on away, you hear? And don't think I don't know who you are. You're Snyder. Now go on away. Nope, nobody around. The coast is clear, Leroy. I think you can safely run along home now if you want to.
I'm scared. It's dark out.
Well, I won't force you if you'd rather stay around.
Hey, look out!
Evening, Peavy. You can come out, Leroy. It's just Judge Hooker. Good evening, Judge.
Hi, Judge.
Well, Leroy, what are you doing down here? I just stepped in to pay my bill, Peavy. You'll find the check inside there.
Oh, thanks.
I got it all addressed and ready to mail, and then I said to myself, now why should I waste a 3-cent stamp on this when I'll be passing Peavy's place on the way home anyway?
Very smart.
I had the stamp all licked and ready to put on before I thought of it. Stamp curled up on me. But I guess I can use it again.
A little mucilage, yeah.
Uh-huh.
How are you fixed for mucilage, Judge?
I don't know. Maybe you better give me some. Glad you mentioned it.
No, I think we have it.
Well, Leroy.
Hi.
Yeah, here we are. It says Stixit, the household adhesive of 1,000 uses. Unsurpassed for gluing wood, leather, china, glass, porcelain, metal, brick, cork, fabric.
I just want to stick a stamp on an envelope.
Guaranteed to hold under a strain of 75 pounds to the square inch. Well, that ought to do the trick.
How much is that?
25 cents, Judge.
Well, that's better than wasting a stamp.
Oh. And a penny for the tax.
Haven't they removed that penny yet? They've removed everything else.
Not yet, Judge, but the minute they do, I plan to pass the benefits along to my customers.
Well, there you are.
Thank you. I think you'll enjoy that mucilage if it's as good as they say it is. Oh, Judge,
Yes?
if you're on your way home, I think our friend Leroy here might be grateful for a lift. How about that, Leroy?
Yeah. Gee, would you mind, Judge?
Not at all.
He's been waiting around here for a convoy.
Convoy?
It seems an enemy is lurking in the offing.
How's that?
A guy is laying for me. A boy in my class.
You're not afraid of this fella, are you, Leroy?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, you come along. If he makes any trouble, we'll have the law on him.
Gee, can you do that?
My friend, I am the law. Come along.
Leroy, where you been? Your uncle's just about going crazy. He's been phoning all over. Here he is, Mr. Gildersleeve. Here's Leroy.
I think I can explain, Bertie.
Oh, good evening, Judge.
Leroy, where the devil have you... Hello, Judge. Leroy, where have you been? Haven't I told you I want you home before dark? Haven't I?
Well,
Now, don't be too hard on the boy, Gildy. Let me explain.
Go upstairs and wash your hands.
but they aren't dirty.
Wash them.
Okay.
That boy, really.
I'm afraid you have a little problem with Leroy, Gildy.
You don't have to tell me.
I think you need to give him a little more self-confidence.
If Leroy had any more self-confidence, I couldn't stand him.
Nevertheless, I think that you ought to have a talk with the boy. You know where I found him just now? Down at the drugstore, hiding.
Hiding? What's he done now? Leroy!
No. Now, don't call him.
Never mind. Wash your hands.
I am.
Well, go ahead. Don't stand there talking about it. Go ahead. Well, Judge?
This is something that's going to take a little understanding, Gildy. Of course, I don't know where he's going to get any of that from you, but...
Get to the point, you old goat.
Well, to begin with, I don't like to say this, but I'm afraid Leroy is just a little afraid of the dark.
I don't believe it. No boy his age, and particularly no nephew of mine.
All right. That's merely my opinion, based on absolute fact.
You'll be telling me next he still sucks his thumb.
As to that, I couldn't say. But I know that he wouldn't get out of the car just now unless I walked to the door with him.
Well, I'll be darned.
It seems he has a bogeyman. A bogeyman named Snyder.
Maybe I don't know the boy as well as I thought. Who is this Snyder?
Boy in his class, evidently. Troublemaker.
Why doesn't he knock his block off, for goodness sake?
Possibly because he's scared to death of him.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's a coward.
Now, be fair to Leroy. Maybe you've overlooked part of his education.
Well, maybe I have.
I think every boy should have a little instruction in the manly art. Unless, of course, you want Leroy to grow up to be just a chip off the old block.
Oh, is that so? I'll show you who's an old block, and I'll teach Leroy to be a chip.
Leroy, ain't you going to eat any of
No,
that?
thanks, Bertie. I'm full.
Eat it. It'll put muscle on you.
Okay.
Miss Marjorie, don't tell me you don't like it.
Oh, I love it, Bertie, but I'm afraid of getting muscle bound.
Eat it. It's brain food.
It's seaweed.
Seaweed is kelp. This is kale.
I wish it was spinach.
Mr. Gildersleeve, a little more for you?
Just a very little bit, Bertie.
Ha!
Leroy, there's something I want to take up with you.
Yeah?
Who is Snyder?
Who is he?
Yes.
He's just a boy.
What's his first name?
Just Snyder, that's all.
Well, what's his full name? What does the teacher call him?
Snyder.
Why have I never heard of him?
I don't know.
You're afraid of him, aren't you?
He's bigger than me.
Understand he picks on you and the younger boys. Why have you never told me about this?
Because.
Because why?
You aren't supposed to snitch on people.
You never hesitate to snitch on Piggy, and he's your friend. Why haven't you reported on this Snyder? Come on. Why?
He said if I ever snitched on him, he'd putting my eyes out.
Ridiculous. There's one thing I loathe and despise, Leroy. It's a coward. This boy picks on you, you ought to stand up to him. Instead of running and hiding in drugstores. How does that look? How does it look for me? You don't want me to be ashamed of you, do you?
No.
Uncle Mort, I don't blame Leroy. Snyder's a perfectly horrible boy.
Well, you know him, my dear?
I detest him. And I think Leroy's very smart to keep away from him.
So do I. Thanks, Marge.
Nevertheless, my dear, we can't have Leroy being a coward.
Who's a coward? The guy's bigger than me, that's all.
Always remember David and Goliath, my boy. Goliath was 10 times David's size. 20, maybe.
Yeah, but David threw a rock. I always remember what you said about throwing rocks.
It wasn't the rock that conquered Goliath, my boy. It was the element of surprise. David got there first.
Yeah?
Yeah. The best defense is an offense. Always remember that in your dealings with Snyder. Never start a fight, my boy. But if you ever get into one, be sure you strike the first blow.
Never started.
Did I ever tell you children about the time I licked Dan Murdoch at college?
Hundreds of times.
Well, sir, we got into a fight there one day. I don't think either of us remembers now what it was all about. But Dan made the mistake of challenging me in public. Well, I guess I weighed about 170 pounds. I was a little stout in those days. And Dan must have weighed easily 200. Great big fellow. Well, sir, we squared off there and went right at it. I wasn't much of a fighter, but I had one blow I knew I could count on. I don't know where I ever developed it, but boy, it was a regular atom bomb.
How'd it go, Unc? Can you show it to me?
Later I will, Leroy. Well, sir, I didn't wait around. I made a quick feint to his chin to throw him off his guard, and then I let him go with my atom bomb. Right in his solar plexus. And oh, brother.
Yeah, what happened?
Leroy, you know perfectly well what happened. You've heard it 100 times.
Yeah, but I want to hear it.
Well, sir, I'll never forget the look on Dan Murdoch's face when that blow landed. He looked at me absolutely silly for a moment, and then folded up like a big pudding and collapsed.
Hey, you forgot where his tongue hung out like a welcome mat.
Yeah, that's right. His tongue hung out. Like a welcome mat. Yeah, from that time on, we were the best of friends.
Hey, will you show me your atom bomb punch, Unc, will you, huh?
Well, I might. Yes, by George, I will. After dinner, I'll take you out in the hall there, Leroy, and I'll show you the secret.
Oh, boy, wait till I see Snyder.
Yeah. Always remember, Leroy, this is a very dangerous blow. It can be very painful.
Don't worry.
You can even knock a man out with it, especially if you hit him right there.
There?
A little higher, there.
Oh, there.
That's it. Don't ever hit him there, will you, Leroy?
Nah.
Poor old Snyder.
Nothing tastes better than a salad in summer, but wintertime is salad time, too. And this winter you can serve wonderful salads made with famous Kraft mayonnaise. Yes, it's once again available and in reasonable quantity. Now that the supply of fine salad oil is more plentiful, Kraft can make a fair amount of mayonnaise, although Miracle Whip salad dressing continues to be scarce because of the sugar shortage. So look for the superior mayonnaise that glorifies any salad. Kraft Kitchen Fresh Mayonnaise at your food dealers. It has a delicacy of flavor, a richness that only choice ingredients can give. Fine salad oil, selected eggs, fragrant vinegar, and spices. And for a final crowning touch of perfection, fresh lemon juice. And the flavor of Kraft mayonnaise is not by any means the whole story. Its texture, too, is marvelous. A special beater patented by Kraft gives it a velvet smoothness you could never accomplish in your own kitchen. No need to bother with making your own now that this truly superior mayonnaise, Kraft Kitchen Fresh Mayonnaise, is once again available. Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. While strolling homeward from the office on Saturday noon, he spies a lady ahead of him and quickens his pace. As he draws a beam of his quarry, he is surprised and delighted to find he has been pursuing the school principal, Eve Goodwin.
Hello, Eve.
Hello. Oh, hello, Throckmorton.
I didn't recognize you from the... I mean, have you got a new coat or something?
No.
Where are you going?
I was just going home.
Had lunch?
Yes, I have.
So have I. How about stopping in someplace for a soda?
Oh, I can't. I'm sorry.
Gosh, I haven't seen you in quite a while.
You haven't called me.
I've been pretty busy. How about this afternoon?
I have a parents' meeting this afternoon. That's why I have to get right home. I don't believe you ever think about me, Throckmorton, except by accident.
That's not so, Eve. I think about you a lot. Thought about you a couple of days ago, but I was tied up. What's so funny?
You. But I like you.
Well, all right then. Do you mind if I walk home with you?
That would be very nice. Since I've run into you, there's something I'd like to ask you about Leroy.
Leroy? I knew it. He's been finishing his homework in an awful hurry.
It's not his schoolwork. At least I haven't had any complaints about it from Miss Creedle. No, this is something new. It surprised me.
Just tell me what it is, Eve. I'll whale it out of him.
You wouldn't.
Wouldn't what?
Punish him physically.
Huh? Oh, no. When I tell him to listen, he listens. Sometimes. What's he been up to?
I've never thought Leroy would turn out to be belligerent.
Belligerent?
He seems to have a chip on his shoulder the last few days. He actually seems to be trying to pick fights with the other boys.
What's the harm in that?
Well, if you could see him. I watched him walk right up to quite a big boy and pull his shirt tail out. I don't think there's anything amusing about
But
it.
Eve, men look at these things differently. It's masculine psychology.
Nonsense.
No, I mean it. There comes a time when a man has to put up or shut up, Eve. A time when he's a man or a mouse.
But Leroy's a child.
He's getting to be a man. What's more, he's got Gildersleeve blood in his veins.
You're talking like a child yourself. Getting to be a man doesn't mean he has to push people around.
He's got to learn to fight someday.
Why?
Well, because everybody does.
Nothing is ever settled by a fistfight. No one but small boys and barbarians believes that fighting is the answer. Do you get in fistfights with people who haven't paid their water bills?
Well, no, but...
Do you punch people who disagree with you on politics?
I've considered it. But I didn't do it.
Then why encourage Leroy to go around picking fights with other boys?
I don't encourage him.
You don't discourage him. As a matter of fact, when I told you just now he was turning into a rowdy, you were quite pleased, weren't you?
Eve, how could you think such a thing?
Weren't you a little pleased, Throckmorton, secretly?
Well, I'm glad to know he's not a sissy.
I don't think any boy with Gildersleeve blood in his veins is likely to turn out a sissy.
You mean that, Eve?
Yes. But I do wish you'd speak to Leroy.
Oh, I will.
Good. Well, it's nice to have seen you.
Aren't you going to ask me in for a minute?
Oh, I'd like to, but I've got to dress and go out again right away. Some other time?
Some other time. You always say that. Gosh, I never get to talk to you about anything but Leroy.
Leroy's a fascinating subject. Goodbye, Throckmorton.
Goodbye, Eve.
And you will tell Leroy it's silly to fight.
Oh, sure.
Goodbye.
Nuts. I don't know if I'll tell him or not.
Unky, is that you?
Yes, it's me.
Oh, I'm so glad to see you. Could I have some money? Francie and I are going to Barney's.
Quite a welcome. Where's your allowance?
I'm saving it to buy Christmas presents. It makes me feel wonderfully independent.
Marjorie, if you're saving, that's one thing. If you're going to some jukebox joint, that's another. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Oh, Unky, that's such a cliche.
Now, see here, young lady.
A cliche is something that's been said so often.
I know what a cliche is.
Well, you don't have to yell. I'm only asking for 50 cents so I won't have to take it out of Leroy's present.
I won't have you robbing your brother. Here, bring me 50 cents change.
Thanks, Unky, darling. I wouldn't have taken it out of Leroy, really.
Yes. Where is Leroy?
Oh, he's around somewhere.
Leroy! Oh, Leroy!
What?
When I call you, I want you to come.
What?
Come here.
Goodbye, Unky. I'll be home by 5.
See that you are. It gets dark at 5.
Don't worry.
I don't want you out in the streets with a lot of young... A lot of respect I get around here.
Did you want me, Unc?
Yes. I do not enjoy talking to you from a range of 100 yards. What's this Miss Goodwin tells me about your behavior at school?
Behavior?
She says you've been picking fights.
She's a big...
Leroy?
I haven't picked one fight. Everybody's scared of my atom bomb punch.
Oh? Hey, I had quite a discussion with Miss Goodwin. Nothing is settled by a fist fight, you know, my boy.
Huh?
Fighting is an outmoded, barbaric method of settling differences. See that you avoid it. Is that clear?
But I thought you said...
Fighting is silly. Do you understand?
I guess so.
On the other hand, there are times...
Yeah?
There are times when there is no other honorable course. Do you understand?
I'm not sure.
Well, never mind whether you understand or not. What I want is obedience. Now go out someplace and play.
Gosh, clear as mud. No, Craig, that's not the idea. Hold the board a little higher. Like this? That's better. Now hold it while I go out and take a look. Yeah, that's pretty good. A little higher. I can't reach any higher. Okay, just hold it then. How long do I have to hold it? Till I tell you. What you doing? Never mind, just hold on to that board. My hands are cold. Listen, if you're too little to hold up a board while I find a nail, I won't let you be in on this hut. Well, hurry up. I have to find the right nail, you know. Here it is. Now hold it up against there tight. My hands are cold. Oh, quit crying. Now hang on. Hold it up. Why don't you hold it and let me hammer the nail? Because you're too little. You gotta know something to hammer. Okay, you can let go now. Say, it looks pretty good. Can I come out and look? I guess so. Then get that other board. Say, it looks super.
Well, well. The kids are building a hut.
Huh? Oh, hello, Snyder.
Some hut. Where'd you get the boards?
Out of his father's garage.
I bet you stole them.
We did not.
How'd you like me to tell the cops on you?
We didn't steal them.
Who are you?
Craig.
Some lousy hut. I bet I could kick it over.
You better not, Snyder.
Watch me.
Hey!
Watch.
You dirty guy.
Who you calling a dirty guy? Come here.
Let go of me.
This is judo, see?
Quit twisting his arm, Snyder. Ow! Well, I warned you.
Oh, getting tough, huh? See you in school, Leroy.
You got it, you dirty guy! Where'd he hit you, Leroy? Right in the eye. Might have blinded me. What would he care? Let's see. See? Gee, a black eye. Leroy's got a shiner. Leroy's got a shiner. Why, you little... Don't you touch me!
Well, Leroy?
Mr. Bull.
Yes. Expecting little Craig, I suppose, weren't you? Well, we'll just see what your uncle's got to say about all this.
I didn't touch him, Mr. Bullard.
Come along. That's not the point, Gildersleeve. The point is that Leroy was picking on a little fellow half his size.
The point is, Bullard, that Leroy didn't touch him. Is that right, Leroy?
Sure, it's like I told you.
The point is, Leroy tried to defend your boy from a bully bigger than either of them.
Poppycock.
Where do you think he got the black eye?
Craig hit him.
Oh, for...
In self-defense.
Is that true, Leroy?
I told you, Unc Snyder hit me.
Snyder hit Leroy, and Craig laughed at Leroy, and so Leroy chased him.
What was Craig crying for?
Because he's a crybaby.
Now, see here, Gildersleeve. There are things a man can't take lying down.
That's right.
My boy's half Leroy's size. Leroy must have done something to him.
Are you implying my Leroy's not telling the truth?
I am.
Bullard, I can't take that lying down.
Well?
Step outside.
Very well.
Oh, boy, the atom bomb punch.
Well, where do you want to go?
The porch is all right, I guess. No use getting out there in the snow.
Very well. Now, you say my boy's a crybaby,
I do.
and I say Leroy's a liar.
Get out of the way, Leroy. Put up your hands, Mort.
I'm ready for you.
Why, George.
By golly.
In the future, you keep your kid away from Leroy.
You keep Leroy away from Craig.
Tell Craig to stay off my property.
And you stay off my property. Yes, sir, you stay off my property.
I'll only be too glad to. Coward. Well, I guess I showed him.
Unc, I thought you were going to use the atom bomb punch.
The what? Oh, well, I was going to, and then I remembered what Miss Goodwin said. Nothing is ever settled by a fist fight.
But, Unc, you said there are times...
Remember what Miss Goodwin said. If you'd remembered it, you wouldn't have that shiner.
The great Gildersleeve will be back again very shortly. Friends, there's an urgent appeal and need for more nurses in the hospitals of the United States, and we'd like to suggest to all the young women listening that they consider seriously making this their profession. Nursing offers excellent pay and interesting work, and more than that, the tremendous satisfaction that comes from aiding one's fellow man. High school graduates or college students between the ages of 17 and 35 are eligible to learn nursing. It's a 3-year course with the time divided between classroom work and actual hospital experience. You can find out how to apply for admission in any of the nearly 1,300 accredited schools of nursing by talking to the vocational guidance counselor of your local school system or at your local hospital or school of nursing. We'd like to ask you young women to think seriously of nursing as a life work.
Hello, Miss Fenwick? Guess who this is? Oh, how'd you know? What are you doing tonight, Miss Fenwick? Oh, why not? Can't you write letters some other time? Oh. 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 Well, I'll go to the movies with somebody else. What do you think of that? Goodbye.
I'll go with you, Unc.
You go to bed. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. It is written by John Wheaton and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley as Leroy, Louise Erickson as Marjorie, and Lillian Randolph as Bertie. Judge Hooker is Earl Ross, and Richard LeGrand is Mr. Peavy. This is John Lang saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Remember tomorrow to ask your grocer for the wonderful Kraft product called Frizz. Frizz makes delicious ice cream right in your refrigerator. Velvety, smooth, rich ice cream with plenty of cream and milk in it. It's easy to make any flavor you like with Frizz. Just add water, a little sugar, and freeze according to directions on the package. You get 6 generous servings from one package. Because Frizz is made by an exclusive process that retains the fresh cream flavor, and because it freezes smoothly, Frizz ice cream is simply delicious. Frizz, F-R-I-Z-Z.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve.
The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products.
Yes, it won't be long now. The counters are stacked. The department stores have issued their final ultimatums. A tradesman in a Santa suit lurks behind every Christmas tree, his pistol cocked, ready with his Christmas message. Stand and deliver your money or your life. Grown-ups begin to wear that hunted look as they feel the holidays closing in upon them. But the children, hey! Cheeks are flushed, hopes are high, talk is merry and a little wild.
You know, we have the craziest uncle. I mean, really, he's a scream. But so nice, isn't he, Leroy?
Yeah, he's okay sometimes.
It's so funny. Every year about this time he gets us together, and he looks very solemn, and he says to us, "Children, I'd like you to sit down for a minute. I just want to warn you, we're going to have a very small Christmas this year. Santa Claus is very poor. So I don't want you to expect too much."
And Christmas morning? Oh, boy, everything.
Marjorie, I'd like you to sit down for a minute.
Yes, Unky?
Where's your brother? Have you seen him?
Bertie, have you seen Leroy?
He's out and back.
He's out and back.
Ask him to come in for a minute, will you?
Ask him to come in for a minute, will you?
Leroy, your uncle wants you. I don't know. You better come in and see. He's coming.
He's coming.
Yes. Oh, does he have to slam it? Yes, I suppose he does.
Looking for me, Unc?
Leroy, I'd like to have a little talk with you, and you're...
No.
Where did you get that cat?
I don't know. I found him out back. He's been hanging around all morning. Isn't he a beauty?
He's a monster. Get rid of him.
Oh, Unc, I was just going to ask you if we couldn't keep him.
I expected that. The answer is no.
But, Unc, he likes me. He's fond of me, Unc, see?
Leroy, if we tried to accommodate all the animals you claim are fond of you, we'd be living in a Noah's Ark.
Oh, but gee whiz.
Now, you had a dog 2 Christmases ago, and you didn't take care of him. That's why he ran away. I told you then, no more animals.
But, Unc, I'm older now.
You're no more dependable. Not one whit.
What's a wit, Unc?
Don't try to change the subject. Get rid of the cat.
Oh, Unc, I'd take care of him. He wouldn't be any trouble.
It isn't a he, it's a she.
You want to bet?
He, she, or it. Now get rid of it. I want that cat out of here before he becomes an issue. Every time I let you play with some animal for 5 minutes, we have to have a whole great big thing about it. Now put him outside.
Okay. Poor old fella, everybody treats him mean. Well, I'm your friend.
Cat's too big anyway. If there's anything I can't stand, it's an overgrown cat. I don't mind kittens. They wouldn't grow up into cats.
You liked Aesop.
Aesop was a very unusual cat. This cat is ordinary. Tell it just by looking at him.
You wouldn't say that if you knew him.
Let's not have any more talk about cats, shall we, children? What I wanted to speak to you about is Christmas.
Here it comes.
Now, Christmas will be here shortly, and I think I ought to warn you.
I know what I want.
That's not the Christmas spirit, my boy. The spirit of Christmas is in giving, not getting.
Oh, I'm going to give you a present, don't worry. Marge, too. I'm going to give them both super presents. If you ever pay me the allowance you owe me.
Do I owe you money?
Do you owe me? $1.25.
Well, remind me about it.
I'm reminding you.
Remind me some other time.
You can't give till you get, you know.
I haven't got it on me right now. Some other time, Leroy.
Okay. But don't blame me if you're disappointed on Christmas.
That's just the point I'm trying to get to, my boy. The best way to avoid being disappointed on Christmas is not to expect too much.
This year I'm only going to ask for one thing. That's all I'm going to ask for is one thing. Just one thing, that's all. One thing.
Yes. Well, that's good, because this year Santa is really going to have a tough
Just one thing, that's all. Just one thing.
He's really going to have a tough time. You see, with prices as high as they are...
That's all I want is one thing.
You might as well ask him what it is, Uncle Mort.
Do you want to know?
No. But what is it?
A motor scooter.
You mean one of those?
Yeah. One of those little red things you ride around on. Like a motorcycle, only better. They're lots safer, Unc, and kids can ride them. They hardly burn any gas at all.
Leroy, those things cost $150.
They do?
At the very least, maybe $200.
Gosh, that's the only thing I really want. I've been wanting one of those ever since I can remember. I guess I want a motor scooter more than anything else in the world.
Now, be reasonable, Leroy. Don't get your heart set on something that's impossible.
Craig's gonna get one.
Who said so?
Craig.
Craig is a great big... Craig is a little boy, Leroy. You can't believe everything he says.
Just the same, he's gonna get one. He said so.
It'd be just like that four-flusher Bullard to give his kid an expensive toy like that.
It wouldn't be so expensive, Unc. Craig and I got it all figured out. When we get our scooters, we can do all kinds of things. We can deliver papers, we can run errands for people and charge them for it. Why, the scooters will pay for themselves in a couple of weeks. No kidding.
Yeah.
Think it over, hey, Unc?
Leroy, I want you to forget this whole idea. Do you understand? Just forget about it completely.
Okay, I'll forget about it.
I mean it.
I've already forgotten about it, Unc. It'll be just as... I'll be just...
Listen, you don't seem to get the idea. See, how can I... I'll have you children know that I'm not made of money. Do you understand?
Sure.
Marjorie?
I don't care what I get, Unky. Anything you decide, I'll be grateful for.
That's the spirit, my dear. Leroy, why can't you be more...
Me too, Unc. Anything at all will be okay with me. Anything at all.
Well, it won't be a motor scooter. You can bank on that. Just get that out of your head right at the start. A motor scooter is out of the question. Understand?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
They're not only expensive, they're dangerous. And besides, they're expensive. Everything's expensive. Now, we're contributing to the orphanage out there, little Christina. That'll have to be our main Christmas. We've got to cut down. Motor scooters are out. You understand?
Yeah, sure. They're too expensive. Who wants a motor scooter?
I mean it, confound it. Don't wake up Christmas morning expecting to see one under the tree because there won't be one. Do you get it?
Okay. Is it all right if I go out and play now?
Confound it, when I say I mean it, I mean it. All right, go ahead.
Thanks, Unc. Thanks a lot. Oh, boy, I gotta tell Craig.
You know, I don't think he believes me. What are you grinning at, Marjorie?
Unky, you're so transparent.
Transparent? What do you mean?
You overdo it. Now, 2 years ago, Leroy wanted a dog. You told him 50 times if you told him once that a dog was out of the question. So on Christmas, what did he get? A dog.
Well, sure, but
And last year it was a set of drums. For weeks you kept telling him they were too expensive. And all the time you had them hidden in a closet. No wonder he's on to you. You ought to keep quiet about the scooter.
Listen, I mean it. Do you think I've got $150 to throw around?
Unky, you're a darling.
Widow.
But you couldn't fool a fly. There's a Christmas kiss. I'm going straight upstairs now and wrap your present.
She doesn't believe me either. How am I going to kill this thing? Bertie!
Yes, sir?
Bertie, I positively will not buy Leroy a motor scooter.
No, sir?
I want to go on record before at least one member of this family is never ever having the slightest intention of doing so. You're my witness.
Oh, shucks. You can trust me, Mr. Gildersleeve. I ain't gonna tell him.
You know yourself, Peavy, getting such expensive presents as that isn't good for a boy. It could ruin his character.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that. Why are you suddenly so concerned about Craig Bullard's character?
Because, confound it, if Craig gets a motor scooter, then I've got to give Leroy one, that's all. I can't have Leroy disappointed on Christmas while Craig goes chugging up and down the street, the little show-off. That's my problem, Peavy. It's how to disappoint Leroy without disappointing him.
How do you know Craig is going to get a scooter?
I don't. That's what I'd like to have you ask Mr. Bullard, if you will.
Well, why don't you ask him?
Because I threatened to punch him in the nose last week.
Him too?
I told him to stay off the property. He told me to stay off his.
You seem to be narrowing the circle of your acquaintance these days, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, never mind. Will you do as I ask?
I don't know.
It's a small enough favor, for heaven's sake.
But it's none of my business. I just can't say to Mr. Bullard, what's this I hear about you giving Craig a high-priced scooter for Christmas?
No, you don't have to do it that way, Peavy. Just be tactful. Be casual. Sneak up on it.
How?
Well, for instance, you could look out of your window and say, well, there goes a boy on a motor scooter. By the way, Mr. Bullard, what are you giving Craig for Christmas?
I don't think it'd work.
Why not?
Well, suppose no boy went by on a scooter.
Ye gods, Peavy, you could pretend you saw one, couldn't you?
That would be an untruth.
I know, you just don't want to ask him.
Well, Mr. Gildersleeve, I'll tell you. A man who will run a drugstore will do almost anything, but you have to draw the line somewhere. And when it comes to snooping, even a pharmacist...
All right, forget it. I'm sorry I asked.
Mr. Gildersleeve?
Yes?
In case I shouldn't see you in the meantime, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Well, that's all, Eve. I just wanted to return your Plato. Darn interesting book. Thanks for lending it to me.
You're quite sure you finished it?
Oh, yes, I'm finished with it.
I'll be glad to have you keep it a little longer if you
Oh,
think...
no, thanks. I think I've gotten all I can out of it. Oh, say, there was one other thing.
Do come inside. It's so cold out here.
Well, just for a minute. It's about these motor scooters the kids are riding these days. Very dangerous contraptions.
Motor scooters?
Yes. I've been thinking it might be a good idea, Eve, if you passed a rule against any motor scooters at school.
Well, none of the children have motor scooters, Throckmorton. Not that I've seen.
I know, but some child might get one. You know, Christmas coming on. Some of these four-flushers that don't know anything about bringing up children might...
Well, I couldn't very well pass a rule against something that hasn't even come up. Now, could I?
Well, you're the principal, Eve. If you just sent a note home with the kids, no motor scooters. You know, before Christmas, before it's too late. Might be doing somebody a favor.
Leroy wants a motor scooter. Is that it?
How'd you know?
You're so easy to see through, Throckmorton.
Women are always claiming they can see through me. Why is that? My own niece. I get the very same thing from her.
Marjorie is a smart girl.
Am I so dumb?
Well, I don't think you always understand children very well.
I'd like to know who understands them any better. Listen, I'm on to them every minute.
Well, maybe so. But if you want to get Leroy's mind off motor scooters, I don't think the way to do it is to tell him he can't have one.
No? How then?
Convince him there's something else he wants more. Get him so interested he'll forget about scooters.
By George, there's one thing I'll say for you, Eve. You've got sense.
Well, thank you for the compliment, as far as it goes.
Well, that isn't all you've got either.
I'm afraid that was an afterthought.
I'll show you whether it was an afterthought or not.
Another time, Throckmorton.
Always putting me off.
You've returned the book, and you've told me what you really came for. Now, was there something else?
You make it awfully tough for a fella. Well, goodbye, Eve.
Goodbye, Throckmorton.
Oh, say.
Yes?
In case I shouldn't see you in the meantime,
Are you looking for something?
Too early for mistletoe, I guess. Well, I just have to come back, that's all. Goodbye, Eve.
Goodbye.
Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Let's see. You said about Leroy, get him interested in something else. Is that it?
That's it.
Guess I got that straight. Well, goodbye, Eve.
Goodbye.
I'd better get out of here. You'll be seeing through me again. Goodbye. Goodbye, Eve.
The making of a really fine mayonnaise, as every expert homemaker knows, calls for a great deal of skill. Only choice ingredients may be used, and they must be blended with the utmost care for perfect velvet smooth texture. Now, it isn't easy, but Kraft has mastered the art. Try famous Kraft Kitchen Fresh Mayonnaise and see for yourself. Yes, although Miracle Whip salad dressing continues to be scarce because of the sugar shortage, Kraft Mayonnaise is once again available and in reasonable quantity. Fine salad oil is more plentiful, and your food dealer should have a fair supply of Kraft Mayonnaise soon, if not already. With its delicate homemade flavor, its creamy, satin-smooth texture, Mayonnaise by Kraft is glamour for any salad. Only fine salad oil, selected eggs, fragrant vinegar and spices go into it. And as a final crowning touch, genuine fresh lemon juice is added. Then a special beater patented by Kraft is the secret of its marvelous texture. Yes, it's good news. Kraft Kitchen Fresh Mayonnaise is once again available. Well, let's see now how Gildersleeve is coming in his negotiations with Leroy. Strolling out into the backyard, he finds Leroy hard at work in the garage.
Well, my boy, what's going on here?
Cleaning up.
This isn't like you, Leroy.
Well, I'm just trying to clear a space here.
Oh? Space for what?
Well, in case I get anything for Christmas that I need a space for.
Say, Leroy.
Yeah?
I've been thinking about what we were talking about the other day, about Christmas.
You mean about a scooter?
Well, no, about Christmas. There's one thing you've never asked for, Leroy, and I'm surprised you haven't. Because, gosh, I should think it would be an awful lot of fun. That's a train.
A train? You mean an electric train?
Sure, they're more fun than a barrel of monkeys. They have wonderful trains now.
Oh, gee, I never thought you...
Well, they have bridges and tunnels and automatic switches and whistles and everything. Regular little trains. Think what fun you and I could have if we built a railroad together. A miniature railroad.
Would you help me?
Help you? I'd be up there playing with it every evening. And Saturdays and Sundays as well.
Say, that'd be super. We could make a bridge.
Sure.
We could have wrecks.
Well, yeah, sure. We could do anything. I don't know a finer toy for a boy than a train. A bushel of fun at the same time educational and instructive. Just think. On rainy afternoons, Craig would be sitting over there looking out the window, unable to ride his scooter, and you'd be up in your room with your train, having the time of your life.
Oh, boy, would Craig be sore. He'd be wanting to play with my train all the time.
Yeah.
Fat chance.
Yeah, sure. He wasn't smart enough to ask for a train for Christmas. That's his tough luck.
Hey, I just remembered. I've got a train catalog. It's Pig's, but he lent it to me. It's up in my room. Shall I go get it?
Let's go up there and look at it together, shall we, Leroy? Pick out the stuff we'll need.
Okay.
Yeah, come along.
Hey, you know what they have now? They have automatic couplers and locomotives that puff smoke even. Will Craig be sore?
Yeah.
I'm going to clean everything else out of my room and just have trains. I better keep the room locked when I'm not in there in case of the kids. You can play with it any time you want, though, Unc. And signals. They have automatic signals.
Pretty excited, aren't you, my boy? Tell you what we'll do. We'll not only get a train, we'll each get an engineer's cap.
And wear them?
Sure. Whenever we play with the trains. I'll be the engineer and you can be the fireman.
Oh, no, I'm the engineer. You can be the conductor.
All right, Chief, whatever you say. You're the boss. Board! Toot, 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 toot. Where's the catalog, Leroy?
Just a sec, Unc. I'll find it here somewhere. Maybe it's under this stuff.
Oh? You sure you had it?
Yeah, it's here all right. I put it where I'd be sure and find it. Maybe in here.
This room of yours could stand a little straightening up, Leroy.
Yeah, I was just gonna... here it is. Here it is, Unc.
Well, let's sit down here among the debris and look at it together. Oh, what have you got in your bed there?
Huh?
I sat on something.
Let me see. Oh, it's my toy tank.
Well, that's not a very good way to take care of it, Leroy.
I don't need it anymore. What the heck? The war's over.
I certainly hope you'll take better care of your train than that.
Oh, sure. I'll take good care of it.
Well, good. Let's see here now.
Let me show you.
Yeah?
Here's the locomotive I like. The big one, Unc, you see?
Yeah.
Hudson-type locomotive, real headlight, automatic reverse, firebox blows red, accurate in every detail.
37.50.
And then here's the tender that goes with it. That's the coal car.
Yeah.
You see, it has a whistle gadget built right into it.
11.25. Let me look at that book, Leroy.
Sure.
Yeah. Scale, model, passenger cars, each $8.75. Remote control switch, $6.50. Automatic crossing gate, $4.50. Complete Hudson Flyer train outfit. Includes locomotive, tender, 3 passenger cars, 16 sections of track, 2 switches, 100 and... Here.
Where you going?
No place. You know, Leroy, when you come right down to it, the toys you have the most fun with are the toys you make yourself.
What do you mean?
How would you like a set of tools, my boy, of your very own?
You mean no train?
Well, I'll tell you now about trains. The trouble with trains, you play with them a few times, and then you get tired of them. Now, if I got you a train, why, next year you'd have completely outgrown it, my boy. Be just kicking around here getting busted like all this other stuff. Just make you feel bad. Now, I think it'd be much more sensible if... Leroy, are you listening to what I have to say?
What do I want with tools? I can use yours.
But if you had tools of your own, my boy, your very own, you're too big a boy for trains and kid stuff like that.
I'm not so big.
But just think, Leroy. Tools. You could make things. Tie racks, tabourets.
Some fun.
All right. If you're going to be like that about it, if you won't cooperate, we'll just forget about Christmas, that's all. We'll just forget all about it. There'll be no Christmas, that's all. Christmas is for people who cooperate. We'll just give Marjorie all the presents, that's all. Well, why doesn't somebody say something?
Would you like some more of something, Mr. Gildersleeve?
No thanks, Bertie. Where's Leroy?
Up in his room.
Did you tell him I said to come down?
Yes.
All right, he can just go without his supper then.
He said he didn't want any. He's in bed.
In bed?
Mr. Gildersleeve, I know it's none of my business, but when a boy don't want to eat, I don't...
Now, Bertie, I'll handle this.
Yes, sir.
Leroy is in bed, you say?
Yes.
Oh, that's too bad. Confound it, why does Christmas have to come up anyway? Just makes for a lot of trouble. A lot of hard feeling. Hope Leroy didn't take me literally when I said there wouldn't be any Christmas. Poor little fellow. After all, he is just a kid. He's probably up there crying his eyes out. Maybe I ought to run up and speak to him, huh? What do you think, Bertie?
Why don't you do that, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Will you excuse me, Marjorie?
Certainly. But I don't know that Leroy will.
Go up and see.
I'll put this back in the oven and keep it warm for you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Don't bother, Bertie. I don't deserve it. Poor little tyke. I'm too hard on the boy, that's all. I don't mean to be. It's Christmas, that's what it is. Oh, Leroy. It's your old Uncle Leroy. Mind if I come in?
Oh. Hi, Unc. Hi.
Well, you don't look particularly heartbroken, I must say.
Oh, I'm okay. I just thought I might as well go to bed. After all, I have to go to bed sometime, hey, Unc?
Huh. What's that you've got in bed with you?
Huh? Nothing.
Come on. Now, what is it?
Oh, nothing, Unc. Honest, no kidding. I haven't...
Come on. You want me to pull off the covers?
No, really, I'll show you both my hands. Look.
Leroy.
I don't know how he got in here, Unc. I tried to get rid of him like you told me, honest. But he climbed up on the roof and begged me to let him in.
Leroy?
Unc, please, he hasn't got a home.
Would you like to keep him, my boy?
Keep him? You mean it?
We'll see. Do you think you'd rather have the cat than a train, Leroy?
Oh, boy, would I?
You'd rather have him than a set of tools?
Are you kidding?
Okay, Leroy, you may keep him.
Oh, thanks, Unc. You're super. Hey, this cat's crazy about me, Unc. No kidding. I'm going to teach him tricks and everything. That's a very valuable cat, you know it?
Well, I'm glad you're pleased with him, Leroy. And by the way, I want to apologize for shouting at you the way I did.
Ah, that's okay.
I guess your old uncle gets off his trolley once in a while.
Who doesn't? I make mistakes myself.
Oh. Now, why don't you slip on your bathrobe and come down to supper?
Can I bring the cat?
All right, bring the cat. Liberty Hall, Christmas comes but once a year. If it came any oftener, we'd never live through it.
great Gildersleeve will be back again very shortly. Well, these are busy days, all right. Christmas shopping, planning meals, to say nothing of holiday entertaining. So it's good news, I know, that famous Kraft Kitchen Fresh mayonnaise is back. You'll never again bother to make your own once you try it. Kraft mayonnaise, you remember, is the superior mayonnaise, sure to bring compliments wherever it's served. It has a truly distinctive flavor that comes from the choice ingredients that go into it. Fine salad oil, selected eggs, fragrant vinegar and spices, and as a final touch of perfection, fresh lemon juice. Choose it always for delicate, just right flavor and for marvelous texture. A special beater patented by Kraft gives Kraft Kitchen Fresh mayonnaise a creamy satin smoothness you could never accomplish in your own kitchen. You'll be proud to serve Kraft mayonnaise. It's once again available in reasonable quantity.
Yes.
Oh, hi, Unc. I didn't see you.
You're the boy I thought wasn't interested in tools.
Yeah, well, I'm using yours. I hope you don't mind.
Well, not if you put them away. What are you doing there?
Making something.
Oh, making something. May I ask what it is, or is that telling?
It's something for the cat.
Oh, well, that's a good idea. The cat. What is it? A house?
No, it's not a house. It's a box, sort of.
Cat box.
No, well, no, it's not a box, really. It's to ride the cat on the back of my motor scooter. I know I'm not going to get one, Unc, I know. But it never does any harm to be on the safe side. You know.
Nuts. Right back where we started. Only now we've got a cat. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Harold Perry. It is written by John Whedon and Sam Moore. The music is by Jack Meakin. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley as Leroy, Louise Erickson as Marjorie, and Lillian Randolph as Bertie. Richard LeGrand is Mr. Peavy. This is John Lang saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company and inviting you to listen in again next Wednesday for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
Plenty of rich, velvety, smooth ice cream. Any flavor you like, always on hand. Sound swell? It is, and so easy to enjoy when you buy the new Kraft product called Frizz, F-R-I-Z-Z. Yes, Frizz makes delicious homemade ice cream right in your refrigerator. Real ice cream with plenty of milk and cream in it. Just add water, a little sugar, and freeze according to directions on the package. Made by an exclusive process that retains that fresh cream flavor. It freezes smoothly, gives you 6 generous servings from one package of Frizz.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The Kraft Foods Company presents The Great Gildersleeve. It's The Great Gildersleeve, starring Harold Perry, brought to you by the Kraft Foods Company, makers of a complete line of famous quality food products. In Summerfield, through the magic of radio, it is still only Christmas Eve. Its citizens are scurrying about in a light snowfall like characters on a Christmas card, and there's a general air of kindliness, goodwill, and anticipation of the morrow. We find the great Gildersleeve looking not too unlike Santa Claus himself at the counter of Peavy's Pharmacy in conversation with the proprietor.
I don't care what you say, Peavy. Christmas comes but once a year, and it's a great old institution. Yes, sir, I'm for Christmas.
Oh, me too, Mr. Gildersleeve. 75, $1. Thank you, and call again.
I will, Peavy, old man. But probably not till after Christmas.
Shopping all finished?
Yeah, finished yesterday, practically. Yep, I believe in doing it early. You hear a lot of people talk about it, but I do it.
Good for you.
People complaining about Christmas shopping make me tired. There's nothing to it, Peavy. Make a list of people, make a list of stuff, buy it. That's the way.
That's one way.
Wrap it up and hide it so the kids can't find it. Oh, say, wait a minute. How about some wrapping paper?
No, we have it. We have the red tissue and we have the green tissue. 10 cents a roll.
Yeah, that's all right. One of each, I guess.
I assume you wouldn't be interested in our gift wrapping kit.
Gift wrapping kit? What's that?
It comes in a box, 7 kinds of paper, fancy paper, and 4 kinds of ribbon. It also includes a selection of gift guardians.
Gift guardians? What are they?
Little plastic Santa Clauses and angels. You tie them on the outside of the package.
Well...
Adds joy to Christmas giving, it says on the box. Costs $1.50.
Well, I'll go for $1.50 worth of joy, Peavy. Wrap it up.
Yes, sir. One gift wrapping kit.
Say, did I tell you I'm having some people over tomorrow afternoon to sing Christmas carols? Why don't you and Mrs. Peavy come and join us?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, come on. I'm asking everybody. Floyd Munson, Judge Hooker, Chief Gates. I'm even going to ask the Bullards. Haven't been speaking to Bullard, but seeing it's Christmas.
Here's your wrapping paper. I understand the Bullards are out of town.
They are? Well, little Craig is here. They must be planning to come back tonight or tomorrow.
Maybe. I heard Mrs. Bullard was visiting her mother.
Say, you don't suppose...
Suppose what?
Well, last week I heard Craig telling Leroy something about a big argument between his father and mother.
Oh, I don't believe there's anything like that, Mr. Gildersleeve. I believe Bullard's on a business trip.
Well, where there's smoke, there's fire. None of those things, I guess. Don't tell anybody about it.
I won't.
Terrible thing. Well, Merry Christmas, Peavy.
Thank you. You should be receiving a card from Mrs. Peavy and myself.
A card? Oh, thanks.
If you don't receive it, it says Merry Christmas.
Well, same to you, Peavy. See you tomorrow afternoon. Easy with the clippers, Floyd.
Okay, Commissioner, just the back and sides. What's new?
Nothing.
Well, that takes care of that.
I suppose you heard about the Bullards.
Bullards, you say?
Yeah. You heard about it?
No. A little trouble there?
Yeah, afraid so. She's gone home to her mother.
Oh, that don't mean nothing. If I had $1 for every time Lovey went home to her mother, I wouldn't have to be cutting hair.
There's more to it than that.
Yes, sir, I'd be a rich man. Done it again last week. But she always comes back.
I imagine Bullard isn't so used to it, Floyd. He's gone away, too.
Where'd he go? Home to his dad?
This is a serious matter, Floyd. Breaking up a home.
I don't break up so easy. There's a lot of stretch in a home. But a guy like Bullard, I can see where a nice woman like her wouldn't...
Of course. That's the sad part of it. Let's not spread this around, Floyd, after all.
You don't have to worry about me, Commissioner. I'm no talker. Little tonic on the hair?
No, just comb and dry. Poor Mrs. Bullard. And at Christmas time, too. You can't blame her for leaving the fellow, Judge. When a man resorts to physical violence...
You mean to say Bullard beats her?
I won't be at all surprised.
I don't believe it.
Well, who lives across the street from them, you or me?
I don't believe you either.
You're just sore because they're getting a divorce and they haven't retained you as their lawyer.
I don't handle that type of case.
Well, anyway, it's a shame, isn't it? Keep it to yourself, will you, Horace?
You're the one that's spreading it, not me.
Spreading it? I'm trying to keep it quiet. Well, Merry Christmas, Judge. That's the sad part of it, Eve. They've been married 15 years.
That's not the saddest part, Throckmorton. When a wife leaves her husband, you know who suffers.
Yeah, it's tough on Bullard.
No. It's little Craig I'm thinking of. He's such a little boy. All alone there at home with a governess.
Oh, yes, Craig.
Broken homes are hardest on the children, Throckmorton. That's something we school teachers know very well.
Very terrible. Say, Eve, can you come over tomorrow afternoon? Some people are coming to sing carols.
Well,
Maybe you could come a little early, huh? Got a present for you. Got a lot of mistletoe hung around, too.
Honestly, Throckmorton, you are the strangest combination of people.
Will you come early?
Well, seeing it's Christmas.
Well, tree all finished, fire in the fireplace. What do we do now?
How about each opening one present?
That's a good idea.
Not till Christmas, children. You know the rule.
At Piggy's house, they always open one present each on Christmas Eve.
That's not the way we do it here. What would you like to do, Marjorie, besides open a present?
Well, I don't know. I guess I'll go over to Francie's and see if anything's cooking.
My dear, it's Christmas Eve.
Well, so what? Everything's all ready for tomorrow. What's the matter with having a little fun?
That's right. Say, why don't we go to the movies? Why not, Unc? At the Majestic, they got the Killers.
We will not see the Killers on Christmas Eve. Children, have you no sentiment?
All right, Unky. What do you want to do?
It isn't what I want. What do we always do on Christmas Eve? What's our family custom?
Are you going to make us listen to the Christmas Carol again?
Make you listen to it? No, indeed.
We know it by heart, Unc. What's the use?
Say no more. I've tried to establish a fine tradition for this household. Evidently, my efforts have been in vain. Evidently, my efforts have been fruitless. Evidently, you prefer the company of your friends to staying home with me.
It isn't that, Unky.
You prefer some movie to the classic masterpiece of Charles Dickens.
Yeah, sure.
Leroy?
All right, Unky, let's read it. It's too cold to go out anyway.
I don't want you to say this just to please me, my dear.
Oh, I'm not.
I don't want you to do it unless we all agree. Leroy, shall we read the Christmas Carol? Would you rather go straight to bed?
Right now?
Yes, right now.
I guess I'll go to bed.
No, you won't. You'll listen to the Christmas Carol. Now sit down.
Okay.
Where's the book? Marjorie, you find the book, and Leroy, go get me a Coke.
Could Marge and I have one?
Now, seeing it's Christmas Eve.
Oh, boy, Cokes. Did you hear that, Marge? Coke.
Here, Unky. You'll have to admit that's a tired-looking cover.
Yeah, this copy belonged to my father's family. Wouldn't be surprised if it was a first edition. Let's see. Sixth American edition. Well, it might be worth something. Christmas Carol. In prose, being a ghost story of Christmas by Charles Dickens.
That's funny. I never thought of it as a ghost story. I just think of it as a story about Scrooge and Bob Cratchit and his family.
It's a ghost story just the same.
Here's the Cokes, Unc. Here, Marge, nice and cold. Bertie had them on ice.
Thanks, Leroy.
Thank you, my boy. Now, are we all comfortable?
Sure.
All right, then.
Marley was dead to begin with.
Yes, that's right. Marley was dead to begin with. There's no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Oh, what a wonderful pudding. Bob Cratchit said, and calmly too, that he regarded it as the greatest success achieved by Mrs. Cratchit since their marriage. Mrs. Cratchit said that now the weight was off her mind, she would confess she had had her doubts about the quantity of flour. Everybody had something to say about it, but nobody said or thought it was at all a small pudding for a large family. It would have been flat heresy to do so. Any Cratchit would have blushed to hint at such a thing. At last, the dinner was all done. The cloth was cleared, the hearth swept, and the fire made up. The compound in the jug being tasted and considered perfect, apples and oranges were put upon the table, and shovelfuls of chestnuts on the fire. Then all the Cratchit family drew round the hearth, in what Bob Cratchit called a circle, meaning half a one. At Bob Cratchit's elbow stood the family display of glass, 2 tumblers, and a custard cup without a handle. These two held the hot stuff from the jug, however, as well as golden goblets would have done. And Bob served it out with beaming looks, while the chestnuts on the fire sputtered and crackled noisily. Then Bob proposed,
"A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us."
which all the family re-echoed.
God bless us, every one, said Tiny Tim.
The last of all. Yes, yes. He sat very close to his father's side, upon his little stool. Bob held his withered little hand in his, as if he loved the child, and dreaded that he might be taken from him. Little Leroy.
Unc, what's the matter?
I hope you children realize how lucky you are to have a family, even if it's only your old uncle.
I think you make a wonderful family, Unky.
Sure, you're okay.
Think of poor little Craig Bullard over there, all alone, with a governess. Is that any way to spend Christmas?
Where's his father and mother?
I don't know. Poor kid. Leroy, it looks as if Craig is going to have a pretty thin time of it. What would you think of sharing some of your Christmas presents with him?
My presents? Oh, Craig's such a louse.
My boy, is that a Christmas thought?
But he is. Besides, his father's going to give him all kinds of stuff for Christmas.
His father may not get back for Christmas. His mother either. Now, don't you think it would be nice if we all devoted ourselves to giving little Craig a nice Christmas tomorrow?
I think we should.
Well, if they aren't back by tomorrow.
Yeah, that's the boy. I knew your heart was in the right place. Yes, sir, I'll dig out my old Santa Claus suit and go over there and give little Craig the surprise of his life.
If you can get into that Santa Claus suit, you'll surprise everybody.
Well, it may be a little tight, but what's the difference? Where were we? Oh, yes. Spirit, said Scrooge, with an interest he had never felt before, tell me if Tiny Tim will live. I see a vacant seat, replied the ghost, in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner carefully preserved. Stay close to me, Leroy.
Each year, we folks at the Kraft Foods Company look forward to the Christmas message from our founder, J.L. Kraft. This Christmas Day, we'd like to share a part of his message with you. Mr. Kraft closes his letter by saying, "For all of us, our childhood memories must invoke the strongest sense of the lifelong allegiance we owe as children of God to the great teacher whose birth we celebrate this Christmas of 1946. Jesus came to earth with many missions, but the picture of him as the beloved teacher is the one we see most often in the New Testament record. Let every man choose his own creed. But if we let our minds dwell on the great principles of living as taught by Jesus, we will see the perfect pattern by which to fashion our lives. All successful living, all fulfillment of the promise of our youth, all good citizenship in a world which profoundly needs good citizens, must come out of following the teaching of the greatest teacher of mankind. A joyful Christmas, and may the blessing of the great teacher be with you." And with Mr. Kraft, all of the folks at Kraft add their greetings and best wishes to all of you. We hope that with these Christmas adventures of the great Gildersleeve, we're adding to the pleasures of your holiday. Now let's get back to the great Gildersleeve. It's Christmas morning. Stockings have been emptied, so there are apples and oranges in all the chairs. Everyone's presents have been opened, so there's paper and ribbon all over the floor. Comes now the lull when the children don't know what to do, so they call up their friends.
Hiya, Piggy. What'd you get?
Sounds like Piggy did all right.
Gosh. Well, I got a chemistry set and 2 magic tricks and a flashlight and a knife and an atomic pen and a basketball. Sure, it's official. Nah, I never expected a scooter. Hey, can I come over, Pig?
Leroy, that's no way.
Shall I ask him over here?
No.
I'll be right over, Pig. So long.
Well, what about Craig Bullard? Why don't you go over and play with him?
He's sick. They won't let me.
Who won't let you?
His governess. I'll be over, Piggy.
Come here, my boy.
Now what?
Which of your presents do you want me to take over to little Craig?
Oh.
We agreed, Leroy.
That's right, we did. Why don't you let him have that sand toy Aunt Hattie sent you?
That's a good present. I can have a lot of fun with it.
You had one of those 4 years ago. Aunt Hattie must think you're still 9 years old.
But gosh, it picks up the sand and dumps it.
Little Craig is just the right age for it, my boy.
Oh, okay. But you tell him I get to play with it whenever I want.
I'm sure Craig will be very generous with it. Now, what else?
How about one of those books?
Oh, nobody wants a book.
Yeah, but I got stuck with 2. Here's one. He might like it. Got pictures.
Yeah, well, I'll take it. Have you anything you can contribute, Marjorie?
Yeah, how about her?
Pick out anything I got that he might like.
Here, you're pretty safe. Underwear, stockings, jewelry. Who'd want any of that?
I like it.
Hey, what about that box of candy from Ben?
Oh, no.
Well, why not, my dear? We've got tons of candy around the place.
What if Ben comes over? He'll want me to give him some.
Tell him I ate it. Who knows, maybe he'll believe it. Suppose I look a little foolish on the street in broad daylight. What do I care? The kid enjoys it. What do I care? Darn beard gets in your mouth. Tastes funny. Oh, well. Haven't even got a Christmas wreath on the door. Rich cheapskates. Try the doorbell. Come on, I know you're in there. I hear somebody shuffling around. Well, Merry Christmas.
There's nobody home.
There isn't? Well, I just...
If you're selling something, we don't want any.
Oh, I'm not selling anything. There's nobody home, you say?
You're a burglar.
I am not. I'm Santa Claus.
Take your foot out of the door, or I'll call the police.
My dear madam, I am not a burglar.
Then why are you trying to find out if anybody's home?
I happen to be your neighbor from across the street, Mr. Gildersleeve.
I don't know you.
Well, little Craig knows me. I brought little Craig some presents.
Is that what you've got in that bag?
Of course.
You're sure it isn't burglar's tools?
I'm not a burglar. Look, I'll show you my driver's license.
What for?
So you'll know who I am. There. Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, 738 Lakeside Avenue. That's right across the street. Brown eyes, 5 feet 8. Weight, 230 pounds.
I guess it's you, all right. Come in. Right in here. There's someone to see you, Craig.
Who is it?
Surprise, Craig. Santa Claus. I've come to see if you've been a good boy.
You're not Santa Claus. You're my father.
No, I'm not. I'm old Kris Kringle himself.
I thought you said you were Santa Claus.
It's the same thing.
Now, have you been behaving yourself lately?
Sure. I've been in bed all the time. What have you got in the bag?
I got to check up on your record first. Let's see what it says about you in my little book here. Craig Bullard. I've got quite a few bad marks down here for you.
Let's see.
Yes, sir. Quite a few bad marks.
Let me see the book.
No, Sonny. Santa's book is confidential. Santa's quit grabbing.
Craig, get back under the covers.
Have you got a handkerchief, Craig?
Use your own.
Hey, blow your nose, Craig.
I don't need to.
That's the way he is all the time.
You don't have to tell me. You have to be patient with him. Poor little father. No father and mother here for Christmas.
I think your record is good enough, Craig. Let's see what Santa's got in his bag. There.
Ah, nuts, a book.
It's got pictures in it, Craig. Maybe you'll like it.
Nah.
There. The Child's History of England. Might be exciting.
What else have you got?
By George, if he was my kid. See what we have here. Here's something.
Feels like a toothbrush.
Yeah, it is.
A toothbrush for a Christmas present?
Well, it's useful. See what else Santa has in his pack here. Ah!
Another book?
Nope. Guess again.
I'll open it. Oh, boy, candy.
What's that, candy?
Just chocolates, miss.
He's not allowed to have it.
On Christmas?
She stinks.
Craig. I can't do anything with him.
Now, we must be patient. Remember, the little fellow doesn't feel well. Think I've got something here that'll cheer him up. There.
What is it?
Take the paper off. You'll see. Like it?
The sand toy. That's for kids.
You listen to me, you spoiled little brat.
Miss Dover, don't let him touch me.
Go right ahead, Santa Claus. Do anything you want.
Hi, George, for 2 cents, I'd whale the living daylights out of him. Shut up! I haven't even touched you. Shut up! Shut up and you can have a piece of candy. Here.
Hey.
Merry Christmas.
Oh, someone just came in downstairs.
Oh, Craig. Mommy.
Well.
Here we are, Craig.
Daddy.
Now, what's the matter?
If he's my daddy, who are you?
Craig, what on earth?
Well, Mrs. Bullard, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Bullard.
Gildersleeve.
Yes.
Craig, darling, I'm so sorry we couldn't get here last night. Are you all right?
Sure. Bring me any presents?
I certainly did.
Well, I wasn't sure you'd get here, and I dropped over to see if Craig was all right. Brought him a few little things.
I hope Craig thanked you.
Yeah, Craig was his usual charming self. Well, I'll be running along. Why don't you all come over after a while and sing some Christmas carols?
Well, it'll depend on how Craig's feeling.
Bring him along. Glad to have him. Merry Christmas, Craig. Now, we don't need all this confusion.
Merry Christmas, Birdie.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, old goat, he would be the first. Oh, Merry Christmas, Jack.
Merry Christmas.
Well, and here's Floyd right behind you. Merry Christmas, Floyd.
Merry Christmas, Commissioner, Judge.
Nice to have you around.
Shall I bring in the punch now, Miss Gildersleeve?
The punch, by all means, Bertie, by all means.
Punch. Say, regular party.
Take Floyd's coat, Marjorie. Take the judge's coat, Leroy.
Okay. Can we start singing now, Unc?
I don't know. Why not? Floyd, will you do the honors at the Wembley?
I can make a stab at Jingle Bells.
Couldn't have a better starter. Come on, Marjorie, Leroy.
Hey, this is a real instrument.
It's a Wembley.
A fine piece of furniture, too.
Genuine Philippine mahogany.
You don't say. How's this for a key? Okay?
That's fine.
All right, let's start together and finish together.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride a one-horse open sleigh. You were fine, Floyd. I had the wrong key. What else do you know?
Well, I know one thing. The professor's thirsty.
Yeah. Get some punch for everybody, Leroy, Marjorie. And don't drink any of it yourself.
Why not?
Well, because just enough for the grown-ups.
Doorbell! I got it.
Wait a minute. It's Eve Goodwin. I've got it.
Merry Christmas, Throckmorton.
Merry Christmas, Eve. Come in.
Well, aren't we going inside?
Why should we? The mistletoe's out here. I decided not to take any chances, Eve. Yeah? Hold still.
Throckmorton, I think you're stretching the meaning of the mistletoe.
Well, Christmas comes but once a year. Come in and sing some carols, Eve. All right, move over, Floyd. We got a real piano player now.
Now, Throckmorton, I'm not so wonderful.
Anybody that can read notes is better than Floyd.
Hey, you can't hurt my feelings. Hi, Miss Goodwin.
Hello.
Hey, it's quite an outfit.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Miss Goodwin. Say something, Miss Goodwin.
Well,
How about Joy to the World?
All right, fine.
Joy to the world. Wait a minute, folks. I'll see who that is, and we can start over.
We'll wait for you, Gildersleeve. Yeah, the compliments of the season, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Peavy.
Merry Christmas, Commissioner.
Merry Christmas to you, Chief. Come on in, fellas. Throw your coats on the hall table there.
Hi, Peter.
Greetings,
Merry Christmas,
everybody.
We were just about to start Joy to the World, and now that the Chief's here, the bass is taken care of.
Yeah, besides whatever Peavy sings.
Don't worry about me. I just float around.
You're all right, Peavy. Go ahead, Eve.
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing. And heaven and nature sing.
Keep going, everybody. I'll go to the door.
Well, Gildersleeve, we thought we'd accept your invitation.
Glad to see you, Bullard. Mrs. Bullard.
Craig's playing with his toys, so we have a few minutes at least.
Glad you could come. I'm glad you're here. Listen to that wonderful singing. Now, aren't you just a little bit ashamed of yourselves?
What do you mean?
I know all about it. Going off and talking to lawyers about a separation.
I told you this was a small town, my dear.
A separation? Do you know where we've been? On a second honeymoon, celebrating our 15th anniversary.
Well, I told Peavy he was crazy. Come on in and sing, folks. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Gildersleeve.
Oh, Unky, Bertie wants to see you.
Bertie?
I think she's ready to go out now.
Oh, well, tell her to go ahead. Oh, no, I'll tell her myself.
Excuse me, Mr. Gildersleeve. Can I go now?
Yes, Bertie, and thanks for everything. And a Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Bertie, before you go, wouldn't you like to come in and sing that carol? The one you sang at your church last year?
In there with all those people?
Oh, they'll love it. Come on, Bertie.
Well, if you say so.
Come on, come on.
All right.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. Bertie here has an old English Christmas carol she sings every year at her church. Would you like to hear it?
Oh, yeah, please, Bertie, sing it.
It's in the book there, Miss Goodwin. I think I can find it. Oh, here it is.
Oh, yes, it's lovely.
Lolly, thou little tiny child, bye-bye, lolly, 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 thou little tiny child, bye-bye, lolly.
Oh, that's wonderful, Bertie.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
This program was brought to you with the good wishes of the Kraft Foods Company.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.